Hello, and thank you for watching my YouTube channel. My name is Veronica, known as Data Geek. So in this tutorial, I will be going over how to clean data in Jupyter Notebook using Python code. So this is going to be a project that we will be cleaning and preparing a retail data set for visualizations to have interactions with them. So the data set contains raw e-commerce sales data, and we will be fixing missing values, removing duplicates. We're going to correct data types and ensure consistency. So this step-by-step guide will make the data clean and ready for great visualizations or analysis. So as you can see here, I'm looking at my data set now. The data set includes variables, which are invoice number, customer name, product category. It has order date, shipping date, price, quantity, which is how much product was sold and in what country, and the total amount. So we will now upload this data set into Jupyter Notebook. So I'm in my Jupyter Notebook, and the first thing you want to do is click on Upload. After you click on Upload, you will see your window pop up. Find your location that your data set is in, and simply click on your data set, file name, and open. Once you do that, that's how easy it is just to upload your data set. So as you scroll down, you will see some green little looking like windows that are actually CSV files. So you can see here now it says retail2 dataset.csv. So that is my data set that we just uploaded 30 seconds ago. Now I'm going to create a new workbook. So I click on New, Python 3. And here is the workbook I will be working out of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some cells by simply adding this plus button. I want to add several of these. You can also title your workbook anything you want. So in this case, let's title it Data Clean. And like I said, you can name it whatever you want. Then once you name it, you can go ahead and push rename. Now you can start typing your code. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and do a step. So I'm going to do step 1. I'm going to type that out, step 1. And we are going to import libraries. Now I don't want to run this as a code, so I simply click here and put mark down. So if I do a Control Enter, or you could even press this play button to run your code. So here you can see it's like a little text. Instead of it being code, it's a markdown. But if you want to make this bigger, so say you want it to be like a title type, you can just put like the number sign, space, and now run your code again. So now it's bigger. So the more of those little hashtags that you put, the smaller it gets. It's all depending on what size you want. I'm just going to use 1 to make it a big header. Okay, so I'm going to do my libraries by import, and we're going to work with Pandas as PD. So Pandas is for data manipulation. So you can use Pandas to load, clean, manipulate the data set. And numpy, which we're going to use now, import numpy as np. So this library helps handle missing values. So I'm going to go ahead and do my shortcut, Control Enter, to run that code. Now it's saying Pandas is not found, and I forgot to put pandas. So I've got the D, Pandas, pandas. Control Enter, and now you have a number here, so it ran smoothly. So in my next cell, I'm going to do step 2. This, we're going to load the data set. And again, I want to make my header a little bigger. And I will click Markdown, Control Enter. And now we will start step 2. So in this step, we want to upload our data set so we can view it. We uploaded it into Jupyter Notebook, but now we want to kind of view it into our Python code, right? So it's going to read the CSV file into like a data frame. And so we're going to use pd.read_CSV. So this reads the CSV file into a Pandas, the data frame data.head, which we're going to use after, and we're going to display the first 5 rows for quick review. So that's what we're going to do next. So I will put my notes here so you can understand what I'm doing. So I'm going to load the data set, and I'm going to name this file_path equals, and I need my data set name. If I go back to my home page where I was at in my Jupyter Notebook where we uploaded it, and if I go down to here where the data set is, if I double click that, it will show me my data set. We already reviewed this in the CSV file, so it should be just the same. However, I want the name. So I'm going to click up here on the top where it says retail2 dataset.csv. I'm going to click on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the whole name, and I'm going to do a Control-C for copy. Then I'm going to cancel out of here, go back to my notebook where I was coding, and I'm going to paste it in here. So now I have the correct name of my data set. And I'm going to put it into double quotations. This is going to pull your data set. So all you have to do is update your file path. So it's like if you're doing another CSV file, simply just put your CSV file name here. Now I want to call this data. So I'm going to call it data. You can call this whatever you want. You can call it DF. I've seen people doing that. You can call it whatever you want, but in this case, I'm going to call it data. And I'm going to use pd.read_CSV. And I want it to read my file path, what I used here. So this name should match this name because you're pulling this into this code. So you're telling it to read your CSV file, and you want to read the file path, which that's what you called it here. So it's reading actually this data set into the file path. So if I run this code, it's going to read my data set. So now, as you can see, there's a number there. It didn't do anything, but if I go back in here and I say, okay, well, I want to display my data. I'm going to display the first few rows. You can just simply put print. There's a few different ways to do this, but I'm going to do it this way. So I want to print data preview. So this is just the text that it's going to print out for me. Then I want it to print my data set. So I called it data. So I want it to be the same name here. I'm going to do a Control Enter. So you can see I just copied it and pasted it here. Control Enter to run my code. And now you can see the data set. So this data preview is what I told it to print out here. So you really don't need this. All you have to do is print your data. Another way to do this, if I just delete this and I just put data, which is my data set CSV file name, and I do a Control Enter, it shows it this way. So it does more of a bigger picture for you, but still showing the first 5 and the last 5 rows. It also gives you a little more information, like it tells you how many rows you have. So it's 1,520 rows and 9 columns. It's all depending on what you want to use. Either way works. Okay, so once you look at your data set, making sure things are looking right, you have all of your columns and your rows here, they're spelled right, kind of get familiar with your data set. Now we're going to go ahead and go to step 3. So again, I'm going to do my hashtag there, step 3. We want to inspect the data set. So I'm going to change this from code to markdown and do a control enter. And now we are on step 3. So step 3, we want to check for basic information about the data set. So we're going to get data set information. So let's write a little note here, get data set information. And now I'm going to go ahead and print the data info. So you can do print, open parentheses, double quotation, backslash n, and then we're going to put data set info. So again, this is just the text that's going to preview on the screen. I need to close that. And then print our data.info. So again, you don't need this part, but if this is the code that you actually need for the information. So like I said, this is just the text. So data.info, and I'm going to do a control enter. And as you can see, it gives us more of information on our data set. So we have data columns, which is total 9 columns. Okay, here's all of your column names. Here, invoice, customer name, product category. It also has a data type, your object, count. So it gives you a little more detail on your data set. So just remember going up here to this data.info. This right here, we're grabbing this data from our CSV file. So remember, we just named it data. So every time you see data dot whatever code is following after that, we're using this data to pull and giving it instructions on what to do next. So for example, we did data.info. So this info is giving us information on our data set, which provides us data types, non-null values, and column names. So next, I want to show you how to check for any null values in the data set. I'm going to write a little note here by starting with a number sign, and we're going to check for missing values. Okay, and then I'm going to start my code, put print, and then data, which is our data set, and is null. I want it to find the sum. So looking at this data set, there is 6 null values in invoice number, 3 null values in customer name variable, 8 in product category, 3 in order date, 5 in shipping date, 5 in price, 7 in quantity, 4 in country, and 9 in total amounts. So we have quite a bit of null values here. So how are we going to handle these null values? So in this case, we are going to step number 4. Handle missing values. And I want to change this code to a markdown and run this code. The first thing we want to do is we want to drop some rows with missing values. So we can go ahead and drop some rows for customer name, product category. We're going to do the same thing for price and quantity. So any missing values within those variables, we're going to just drop those rows. So we're going to say data equals data.drop NA subset equals, and now we're going to put in, well, first we need a bracket. Following with the double quotation, we need to put in our variable names. So as I mentioned before, we're going to do customer name. So I can just simply just go here, highlight that and do a Control-C to copy that variable name, customer name, and paste it there. Do another double quotation. Now I need a comma to separate that. And then I'm going to do another variable, which is product category. So this product category, I want to do the same thing, Control-C to paste that in there, and comma. And my other variable is going to be price. Control-C to copy. Again, I need my double quotation first, and end with another double quotation and a comma. Start with the double quotation again, and then my last variable is going to be quantity. So I highlight quantity and do a Control-C and Control-V to paste, and the double quotation. Now I need to close that with the bracket because I opened it with the bracket. Close it with the bracket. And I opened it with an open quotation. And I opened it with a parentheses. So close with the parentheses. Go ahead and go down to my next line. So I am using these 4 variables here to drop any NAs within those variables. So I'm going to drop any rows. So next I want to fill missing values in less critical columns. Okay, so again, I'm going to use data, open bracket, and I'm going to use the country variable. So where is my country? I'm going to highlight it, Control-C, Control-V to paste, and double quotation, and close that with the bracket. Now I'm going to do equals. Now I can do is, so I need this same code here. So I'm going to highlight this and do a Control-C and a Control-V. So data, same thing what I did there, but now I'm going to put dot fill NA, open parentheses, double quotation, unknown, close with the bracket, close with the parentheses. So as you can see here, this code is basically saying, in my data set, which is called data, I want you to go to this variable called country. And within country, I want you to fill any NAs with unknowns. So that's what those country variables, those 4 missing, are going to be filled with an unknown text. Okay, so now I want to go and do my next missing value, which is verify missing values are handled. So I want it to print, and data dot is null, open and close parentheses, dot sum, open and close parentheses, and a close parentheses. As you can see, we took care of customer name, product category, and price. So there's still a few in here that are going to show no values. So we'll go ahead and run this code, and I'm going to do a Control Enter. You can see here invoice number, which we don't need for this analysis, so something that we don't have to take care of. Order date, shipping date, and quantity, total amount. You can go ahead and drop any NAs within that variable if you'd like. I suggest that if it's not so much, it's not a big number. So number 9 is not a big number. So I don't think we really need to drop those. It's okay to drop them. But if you had like over 100, it's something that you'd really want to think about dropping because you don't want it to affect your data too much. So in this case, we're just going to leave it as is for those null values. But in this case, it's just showing you how to handle missing values, how to drop any NAs within those rows, also filling any missing values in certain columns that are blank and replacing them with unknown text. Okay, so that's what this code is for, how to handle missing values. So next we're going to go ahead and do step 5. And in this case, we are going to remove duplicates. So this is going to identify and remove any row duplicates. So I'm going to change this to Markdown, Control Enter. And I'm going to add more cells here so I can continue to code. So I'm going to put a note, check for duplicates. Now I'm going to start off with typing out duplicates equals data.duplicates. Duplicated. I'm going to open and close parentheses. I want the sum. So it's going to be dot sum, open and close parentheses. Now I want to print this. So I'm going to print, open parentheses, lowercase f, double quotation, backslash n. Now I'm going to continue with a text that's going to output number of duplicates. Open curly bracket, and I want to pull this. I want to make sure this is spelled right. So I'm going to do a Control C and a Control V to paste, and to close that with a curly bracket, double quotation, closed parenthesis. So next we want to verify if the duplicate values are removed. So I'm going to do that next. I'm going to print. I'm going to do F, double quotation, number of duplicates remaining. So I'm going to do a curly bracket, and this time we're going to copy this code here, duplicated, sum, and then also those open and close parentheses. So that whole thing there. Then we're going to close with the curly bracket, double quotation, and close with another parentheses. Now I want to go ahead and do a Control Enter. So here we go. We have number of duplicates 19 because it's reading the code from top to bottom. So duplicates, we're asking it how many, what's the sum of the duplicates within our data set. And we want it to print out number of duplicates. So that's the printout there, the text, and it's giving us the number of duplicates, which we're calling this code here. So this is this, and it's doing this. Then we went ahead and dropped the duplicates from our data set. And then next we did a text output, number of duplicates remaining, which is that text output here. And it's giving us the remaining sum of our duplicates within our data set. So it looks like it did work. We did drop all of those duplicates. So now our data set has no more duplicates. So the next step is step number 6, and we're going to fix data types. Now I want to change the code to Markdown, Control Enter. This is important because changing data types makes sure the data in your data set is in the right format for what you want to do with it. So for example, if a column has a whole numbers, it's better to save it as an integer instead of a decimal place. It prevents errors. Some data types won't work for certain tasks. So for example, Dates need to be in a proper date format. So if you want to sort your data or calculate time differences, it makes analysis easier. So the correct data type helps tools and functions work smoothly. So for example, numbers must be in a number format for calculations like adding or averaging. In short, fixing data types helps your data work better and faster for your tasks. So that's why this step is important. So here we go. We're going to be starting with a little note, convert price and quantity. These are your variables, price and quantity, to numeric. This is the variable price. So we're pulling from our data set price, and we're telling it to do it to numeric. So it converts the numbers to numeric. We're going to do the same thing for quantity. So I'm going to copy this code, paste it here, and I'm going to copy this quantity here, Control C, and Control V to paste, and Control V to paste. So it changes this variable to quantity instead of price, and everything else pretty much stays the same. So next we're going to convert order date and shipping date to date. Okay, so we're going to do that next. Make sure your variable names are spelled correctly, otherwise it will not work. So looking at your data set, as we did print it up here on the top, making sure that you have the same variables, which are these here, the columns. Order date, make sure it's spelled correctly. It is case sensitive, so make sure if it has an uppercase, it is uppercase. So 2, we're going to change that to date time. Sure, that's double quotation, close parenthesis. And the same thing for shipping date. So we're going to highlight this, paste in here, and I'm going to do shipping date, Control C, Control V, and Control V. We will print out the data types to check the updates. And then we run this code, Control Enter, and we will see our data types for each variable. So order date and shipping date are now in a date frame. And we have price and quantity are now float. So now we changed our data types. So just remember this pd.numeric. This is what changes your data variable to a numerical. So handling errors gracefully. So pd.to.datetime right here, this one here, this converts date columns into a proper date frame format. So that's how to use those to change your variables and those formats. Step number 7. So step 7, we are going to detect and handle outliers. I'm going to change this to a markdown. I'm going to do a Control Enter. Oh, I want this bigger. So I'm going to do a number sign. Now Control Enter. And I'm going to add some more cells here. You can do it here or up here on the top. It's little plus signs, whatever is easier for you. So this is going to identify and filter out outliers and numerical columns. So I will start off with a note. We're going to do variable price column. So we're going to do the IQR method. So this filters out data points significantly below or above a majority of values. So we're going to do Q1 equals our data set name, our variable name, dot on tile. Make sure I spelled that right. Quantile, open bracket. So now it's going to be 0.25. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to copy this, Control C, and a Control V. In this case, I want to do Q3. And instead of 0.25, I'm going to put 0.75. Now I want IQR to equal Q3. And I want it to minus Q1. So this minus this. Okay. So lower bound, underscore bound. We're going to call that. We're going to do Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. So Q1, which is here, minus 1.5 times IQR, which is this. And we're going to call this lower bound. Now upper bound equals Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. And next we want to filter out outliers. Scroll up. We're going to say data equals data, open bracket, open parentheses, data, open bracket, double quotation, and price, because that's our variable name. It's higher or equal to lower bound and open parentheses. And then we're going to do a data, open bracket, double quotation, price, quotation, close that with the bracket. Lower then equal to upper underscore bound bracket. Next, we want to verify these outliers are actually removed. So to verify, and again, we're going to print. So we're going to print double quotation backslash n outliers removed. So I'm going to go ahead and do a Control Enter. And it's giving me an error. So index syntax. So this here, let's see what's going on. Filter outliers. Okay, so this here, I did not mean to do a comma. I meant to do an upper sign. So lower, higher. Now I'll Control Enter. And there you go, the code worked. So now outliers are now removed. So now we are on step number 8. So number 8, we're going to standardize column names. I'm going to change that to a markdown, do a Control Enter. Standardizing column names makes your data easier to work with. It helps by improving consistency. So for example, it ensures all column names follow by the same style, such as like space, no spaces. It also avoids errors. It prevents mistakes caused by typos or mismatched names in your code. It also simplifies code, making it easier to refer to columns, especially when using functions or writing formulas. So for example, changing customer name to customer name lowercase, like with underscore, ensures the column name is clean, consistent, and ready for analysis. So that's why this step is important. So I'm going to start with the note here. And we're going to do data.columns equals data.columns dot str dot stripe, open and close parenthesis, dot str dot lower, close parenthesis, dot str dot replace, open parenthesis, and I'm going to do a single quotation, space, single quotation, comma, single quotation, underscore, single quotation, and close with a parenthesis. Then we are going to verify updated column names by printing and again, we want to make sure this matches this. And I want to do a Control Enter. And it is giving me an error. So it looks like I spelled something wrong here. So it is actually lower, L-O-W-E-R. Now I'm going to Control Enter. So anytime you make a mistake or misspell something, it will yell at you. So next thing we're going to do is we are going to save the data set into a CSV file. So anytime you ever clean your data set, it doesn't matter what data set you do, you're cleaning it and you want to save a clean version of it, you can go ahead and do that by simply doing this step 9. Changing that to Markdown, Control Enter. You start off with clean underscore file underscore path equals, and you can name it whatever you want. But in this case, I'm going to call it cleaned underscore data set double quotation dot CSV double quotation. Then I'm going to say data dot to underscore CSV. And I want this to be the same. So I'm going to copy this by highlighting it, Control C, Control V, comma, index equals false. Close that up. Then I want to print F quotation backslash N in data set saved to, and I want it to show me the file, clean file path. So highlight that. I do an open bracket, highlight my cleaned file path, Control C, Control V, and close that with another curly bracket. I'm going to do a Control Enter. Now it's saying this is wrong. So I forgot something here. F. Oh, I see what happened. Here at the end, double quotation and close with parentheses. Now Control Enter. So clean dataset saved to clean dataset.csv. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my home page of my Jupyter Notebook. And you will now see cleaned dataset.csv in there. So this is your cleaned dataset now, and it's in Jupyter Notebook. So back to my notebook. So we will be doing step number 10. So here is the fun part. We're going to do a visualization of the clean data set. And I want to change this to Markdown, Control Enter. So now that your data set is saved and cleaned, it is now ready for structure and ready for meaningful analysis for visualization. So what I like to use is I like to use Plotly. So iPlotly, well, it has vibrant visualizations. So you can basically hover over your data points to see detailed information. You could even customize, choose vibrant colors for appealing charts, syntax, and powerful built-in features. It's very, very cool visualizations to use, and one of my favorites when coding in Python. So to use Plotly, you have to make sure you have it installed with this code here, pip install Plotly. So if you're not sure if you have this installed or not already, you could actually run your code to check to see if you have it installed by basically just putting in import Plotly. Then you want to print Plotly dot underscore underscore file underscore underscore, and then you close that with the parentheses. So if you do a Control Enter, it shows you where you have it located. In this case, I have it in my C drive. But if you don't have it installed, this is how you would install it. So I already have it installed, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to just put a little number sign here, but it's pip, P-I-P, install Plotly, and it will start installing it, and you will be able to access those libraries. So once you have that installed, you can start creating your visualizations. So I'm going to go import Plotly dot express as px. So now I can use this library within Plotly. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a note to create a histogram price. So it's going to be fig equals px dot histogram. Making sure I spelled that right. histogram. Open parenthesis. And I want to call my data set, which is data, comma, and my x-axis x equals variable. It's going to be double quotation price, double quotation, comma, and it's going to be n BINS equals 30, comma, and title TITLE equals, and this is going to be my title within my visualization, so I'm going to call it price distribution, comma. And I'm going to call my labels LABELS equals curly bracket price. I need a double quotation price, double quotation price. Close that with the bracket and comma. Sorry, curly bracket. So then I'm going to do my color Now I'm going to do my color discrete sequence. So color underscore discrete underscore sequue 1e and ce equals, and it's going to be open bracket, double quotation. So now I want to use the color code 636E FA in capitals, double quotation, close that with a bracket. So this is going to be a vibrant blue color. And I'm going to close that. Next, I want to update layout for a vibrant appearance. So it's going to be fig.update underscore layout. This is going to be an x-axis. So x-axis underscore title equals price. So these are my x-axis titles. Okay, so I'm going to name it price. My y-axis underscore title is equals frequency, comma. Up here to the after price, double quotation, comma, title underscore font equals DICT, my size equals 20, comma, color equals dark blue, and my template is going to be Plotly dark. Now remember, these have to be exactly as they are, because if you do any type of typos, it will let you know. So now I want to show my plot. I do my little note here, show the plot. FIG dot show from those. And I'm going to do a control enter. And it looks like it gave me an error. Let's see what it's saying. So it's saying this here. Scrolling down more. Okay, so this here. Okay, so this color here that we did, it needs a number sign in front of it. So number sign, then 636EFA. It's the color, control enter. And there we go. So there is your visualization on price distribution. So as you can see, as I am scrolling over each of these, it gives me the price, the count of the data. The reason why I like this Plotly is because you can download the plot as a PNG file. You can zoom in and out. You could even move it. You can do all kinds of things. See, you can move it around, as you can see. So it's very interactive. So the next one we are going to do is we will go ahead and create a bar chart, which is also going to be very colorful and interactive as well. So this one's going to be quite a bit of code. So I'm going to go ahead and type it out. Okay, so this one I want to go ahead and copy this. Control C, Control V. But in this case, I wanted to do country sales dot columns equals, erase the data, and it's going to be country, comma, names of sales, quotation, close bracket. And then you can delete these. This I do not need. I'm going to highlight and press delete. And I'm going to go ahead and enter. So next I want to create a bar chart for sales by country. This is going to be the vibrant color palette, so we're going to close that with parentheses. Next, we will update the layout for more appealing design. G.update underscore layout. So these are going to be my titles. So x-axis underscore title is going to be country. My y-axis is going to be number of sales. Title underscore font equals comma color. Let's do a dark blue again. Double quotation, dark blue. And the same thing we're going to do, show the plot by simply typing in fig.show, open and close parentheses, Control Enter, and then country sales is not defined. So looks like I probably spelt it wrong. Yes, I did. So I'm going to copy this, Control C and Control C. Now a Control Enter. So now it's saying fig px.bar. Okay, I see what's going on here. So the axis should be the same as this one here. So I'm going to do a Control C to copy and a Control V to paste. And see this one here also names of sales. I put number of sales. I'm going to do a Control C and highlight this, Control V. Now I should be able to run my code, Control Enter, and here we go. So now I have my data set visual on sales by county. So again, it looks very colorful. There's France in red, blue is USA, the UK is in green, and it gives you all of that detail here. And as you put your cursor over it, you get little pop-ups of how many sales, the name of sales, 240 for Canada. Germany is 238 sales. So there's your number of sales by your country. Very cool, interactive. Again, you can do download the plot as a PNG file. And again, you can zoom in and out. You could even move your visualization from left to right. Very cool visuals. So now that I did a bar graph, I want to do a line graph. So this will be my last visualization. So I will go ahead and do total sales trends over time with a line graph. As you can see, this is why it's important to change and convert your data dates into like a date time format, your visualizations to view your data better. So that's why we're using the pd.to date time, and it pulls in those dates. So next we're going to go ahead and group data by order date and sum total amount. So we're going to do sales, lowercase, underscore trend equals data.group by, and we're going to do order date. We did a group by order date. So now we're going to create line chart for total sales over time. So this is the actual creation of the line chart. Now sales trend. So we have to make sure it's spelled correctly. So I'm going to highlight that sales trend, do Control C and a Control V, comma. My x-axis, it's just order date, which I'm grabbing it from here. Highlight that, Control C, Control V, comma. My y is going to equal to total amount. So I can highlight all of this, Control C, Control V, comma, and my titles. So title equals total sales over time, comma, and my labels. Your number sign, which we learned earlier. So number sign AB63FA. Double quotation, close it with a bracket. So this is going to be a vibrant purple. Close that up. Now I will update layout for a polished fig.update underscore layout. Y-axis. And you could even kind of scroll up here and copy the same thing as this So I'm going to do a highlight and do a Control C, which we did the same up here under our bar graph. But if we just go down here and paste it in instead of typing it all out, you can just change this to date. Then you can change this to total cells. We're going to leave that to dark blue. This is going to still be 20, Plotly white. Okay, and then we're going to close that. And we're going to FIG dot show open and close. So now Control Enter. And there is your total sales over time with the line graph, which is very cool. Interactions to the visualizations using pop-ups. As you scroll over your visualization and your data pops up of like date, total sales. Very cool. You can move this any way you want. Basically zoom and zoom out. I'm trying to do it within. Yes. Very cool. And then you can also, again, download plot as a PNG. So this is really cool interactions. That's why I like Plotly a lot. But yeah, so this is the way you can clean your data, getting rid of duplicates, null values. You can save your data set as a CSV file and then start looking at all of your visualizations with Plotly. So that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.